Hello student, welcome back to one more session of computer networking and security. This is Osant Naik from Canara Engineering College. In this session, we will discuss a routing algorithm, that is distance vector routing algorithm and link state routing algorithm. Before proceeding, students, we know router makes use of two types of protocol. One is called a routed protocol, second one is called a routing protocol. So what is the difference between routed protocol and routing protocol? In my previous session I told the difference between routed protocol and a routing protocol. Actually, so let me write here, routing protocol second one is a routed protocol. Actually, routing protocol is used by the router to compute the routing table. So, routing protocol is used by the router to compute the routing table. Example for the routing protocol are like, let me write here, RIP. Second one is something called as IGRP. Then EIGRP, OSPF, all these are called as a routing protocols. By using routing protocols, router will calculate or router will compute routing table. Once the routing table is ready, the table is used by the routed protocol to transfer the packet from source to destination, to transfer the packet from source to destination. Then, which is routed protocol? Routed protocol are IP version 4, IP version 6, IPX, all these are called as routed protocol. So, routing protocol is used by the router to compute the routing table. Routed protocols are used by the router to transfer the data packet from source to destination, which in turn makes use of the routing table. So now, in routing protocol are computed by routing algorithm. So routing algorithm will compute the routing table actually. So routing algorithms or routing protocols are based on a particular routing algorithm that is called as distance vector and link state. Before that, the algorithms are classified as a global or decentralized. Global means all routers have complete information about topology, cost of the link, type of the link, and other information. In decentralized, a router knows physically connected neighbors and the link cost to the neighbors. And based on that, the router compute the changes in the routing table, and this is the iterative process. Example for decentralized algorithm is a distance vector algorithm. And we know distance vector algorithm, example for distance vector algorithm is a Bellman-Ford algorithm. And example for link state algorithm is a Dijkstra algorithm. So, routing algorithms are classified into global or decentralized. Example for global is a link state, and example for decentralized is a distance vector. The other way of classification is a static or dynamic. The other way of classification is a static or dynamic. So we just saw what are the different classification of the routing algorithms. In that we discussed global and decentralized. So I told you what is a global and what do you mean by decentralized. The next other classification and the other way of classification of the routing algorithm is something called as a static or dynamic. So what is static? Static, route change slowly over the time. For example, suppose there is any change in the network topology, or suppose there is any change in the network path, then all those routes changes slowly over the time. This is because usually there is a human intervention in the static routing algorithm. On the other hand, on dynamic routing algorithm, any changes in the network because of topology or other changes will be immediately results in routing table update. A dynamic routing algorithm can run either periodically, or it can be triggered based on the response to the topology or link cost changes. And one more thing here you have to remember, these dynamic algorithms are more responsive to the network changes. In similar way, it is also more susceptible to the problems such as routing loops or count to infinity problems or oscillation in the routes, etc. So, two types of this one classification here, static and dynamic. In the dynamic, route change more quickly, and if there is a periodic update will be there in response to the link change or cost change, link change, in response to the link or cost changes, all those things. But in the routing static this one algorithm, routers change slowly over the time. So this is the difference between routing algorithms classification. Then you will see now what is exactly static and what is exactly dynamic routing algorithm. We will use a different slide for this one. So students will see now what is exactly static routing. Here I am using the slides from Cisco website. So before that, what is a routing? Routing is sending packet from one network to the other network. In the diagram you can see here, there are two networks are there. This is the 10.120.2.0 network, and this is 172.16.1.0 network. So to route the packet from one end to the other end, the router should know the destination address, identify the source. It can learn from, discover the possible routes, select the best route, maintain and verify the routing information. See, 5 things router has to do. First, it should know the destination address. Second one is it has to identify the source it can learn. And third one is discover the possible routes to the destination. Fourth one is select the best route in that one and maintain and verify the routing table periodically. That is the one thing router has to do. Then now, here you can see here. For example, we will consider this router S0. This router is directly connected with the 10.120.2.0 network, but it has learned about 170.16.1.0 network via other routers updates. So routing table of this router mainly consists something like this, like 10.120.2.0 is directly connected through interface E0. Suppose if I take this interface E0, and it learned about 172.16.1.0 through this interface S0, through this interface. So routers must learn destination that are not directly connected. So you should know this thing. Now next one is, as I said, there are two types of route, static route and dynamic route. Static route, and we discuss like what is the static routing and what is the dynamic routing. Static routing uses a route that the network administrator enters into the router manually. See, static routing is used when they in a small network where the network administrator have a clear idea about the network route. In that case, static routing is used. But the dynamic routing uses a route that network routing protocol adjusts automatically for a topology or traffic changes. Here, network protocol changes the routing information based on the automatically based on the topology or traffic changes. That is the thing. So now we will see next one is here how to before moving, just see how to configure static routes. In the diagram you can see this is the network. This network is connected to the stub network. Stub network means a network which has got only one exit and entry. So this has got only one exit and entry here, you can see. So this route is connected to this network is connected to this network. Here the network administrator can configure both routers because he knows about this stub network. This has got only one entry. There is no multiple entry for this network. In that case, administrator can configure static routes. So administrator has to configure unidirectional static route to and from the stub network. So how to configure the unidirectional static route here? You can see to configure the unidirectional static route. Normally the command is used IP route. When you use the command in IP route in configuration mode, then it will take you to the configuration mode, and in configuration mode you have to use IP route which network 172.16.1.0. I see right now this network is configured like IP route 172.16.1.0. This is the entry in this router. To reach 172.16.1.0 this network, and this is the mask, which is the gateway 172.16.2.1. To reach this network, this is the gateway for this router that has to be configured. Similarly, on this router, to reach this network, IP route 0.0.0.0 and mask is 0.0.0.0. This is the gateway. That means here it is taken, address is taken 0.0.0.0 means to reach, because here the stub network has got only one entry and exit, and that is connected to this network. To reach this network 0.0.0.0 means this particular network and this network. What is this one, or any address, to reach any address 172.16.2.2. 2.2 is the gateway. That is the meaning of this one. This is called as a default routes. So you need to configure the default routes or static routes manually. So on the other hand, when you give IP route command on the router console mode, you will see static route is configured. How the static route is configured, you will see this information. So now what is the routing protocols? As I said earlier also, routing protocols are used between routers to exchange informations, and by that way it will complete the routing table. So example for the routing protocols are RIP, IGRP, OSPF, etc. Example for the routed protocol. Routed protocol is once the routing table is ready, routed protocol is used to transfer the information from the source to destination by making use of that routing table. So the example for routed protocol is IP. So in the diagram you can see here for this router 10.120.2.0 is connected to the interface 0. And it has learned about 172.16.1.0. See students, here 172.16.1.0 is not directly connected. It is connected via other routers. But this router came to know about this network through the routing updates given by the routing protocol. And which protocol is configured here? RIP. RIP is the protocol is configured. By means of RIP, it came to know there is a network by number 172.16.1.0, and to reach that network the exit interface is S0. Similarly, by using other protocols, it came to know that there is a routing there is a network 172.17.3.0. To reach that network, it has to go through S1. So this is about this routing protocols. So students, in this slide you will see the different types of routing protocols. In routing protocols also there are something called as interior routing protocol and exterior routing protocol. And here you see a hierarchical routing. What is hierarchical routing? It is not a flat routing. Flat routing means it is not a flat routing technology. It's hierarchical. Hierarchical means a group of routers under which follow common administrative domain are called as autonomous system. Like that, there are several autonomous systems are there, and the protocol runs inside the autonomous system is called as IGRP, Interior Gateway Routing Protocols. These protocol runs inside the autonomous system, and the protocol which connects the autonomous system is called as Exterior Gateway Protocol. So example for IGRP is RIP, IGRP, EIGRP and OSPF. Example for our EGP is BGP. So you have to remember here, autonomous system is a group of routers, just like a particular group of routers belongs to particular organization. Like suppose a organization A has got 100 branches throughout the India, then the group of routers which comes under common administrative policy or common administrative rules are called as autonomous systems. Like that autonomous systems is connected to other autonomous systems by means of protocol EGP. So EGP connects the different autonomous system. IGP operates within the autonomous system. For example, within the autonomous systems, all the routing updates will be done by IGRP, and this router will know about the other autonomous system by means of BGP, means border gateway protocol. So this border gateway protocol will connect two autonomous systems, I mean different autonomous systems, and it will pass the information from one autonomous system to other autonomous system. For example, so routing updates about these autonomous systems will be moved from will be passed to this router. This router is normally called as autonomous system border router. This will contact other autonomous system border router, and this will pass all the routing updates of this autonomous system to this one and this router will pass that information to the other router by using protocol. The name of the protocol is IGRP, Interior Gateway Routing Protocol. So let me repeat, IGRP is the protocol which works inside the autonomous system, and EGP is the protocol which connects to autonomous system. So as I explained in the classification of the routing protocols are classified as centralized and decentralized, static and dynamic, IGP and EGP. So and then other classification, once again the other way of classification is a distance vector, hybrid routing protocol, and link state. In that distance vector protocol, the example for the distance vector protocol is, let me write here, example for distance vector routing protocol is RIP version 2, IGRP. Example for link state protocol is OSPF, and other protocols are there. So three classifications of the protocols: distance vector, link state, and hybrid routing. So we'll see now exactly what do you mean by distance vector routing protocol, what is the link state routing protocol in the next slide. Students will see now distance vector routing protocol. Distance vector routing protocol. To explain this distance vector routing protocol, I am making use of the slides from Cisco website. So the distance vector routing protocols, we have actually in distance vector routing protocol, each router will send the update in terms of two parameters. One is the distance, how far, and second one is the vector, in which direction. For example, router D, for the router D, router A is 3 off away in the direction of router C. Similarly, for the router D is 3 off away in the direction of router B. So like this, each router will send the routing, each router will receive the routing updates from the other router, and each router will compute the routing table, and it will pass the entire routing table to the other router. This is the main problem of the distance vector. It will pass the entire routing updates, entire routing table to the other router. So each time, so this is the problem with the distance vector routing protocol. And sometimes distance vector routing protocols are called as routing by rumors. Actually, here each router will get the information from its neighboring router, and based on the neighboring router, it will compute the routing information from the neighboring router. It will compute the routing table, and it will pass the routing table information to the other router. Actually, each router will not have the complete topological view of the other routers or entire area. So this is the problem with the distance vector routing protocol. We'll see this one next. So here you can see we have router B, C, A, B, C with connected networks and all, and it is connected through various interfaces. For example, the router A is connected to Ethernet connected to the 10.1.0.0 network by means of E0. Router A is connected to the router B by means of serial interface. Router B is connected to router C by means of serial interfaces. Router C is connected to route 10.4.0.0 network by means of Ethernet interface. Now each router has got routing table. So at a time we will take the routing tables are consistent at particular time So this router has got routing table that indicates E0 is directly connected with 0 ops away. S0 is directly connected, means 10.2.0.0 is directly connected. But it learned about 3.0.0. In order to reach 3.0.0, it has to send the packet through S0, and it is 1 off away. This one is 1 off away from this router, and similarly 10.4.0.0 is 2 off away. Similarly for this router, this is the information. This router, for example, router C, 3.0.0 is directly connected. 4.0 is directly connected, but it learned about 10.2.0.0. To reach 10.2.0.0, it has to send the packet through this interface S0, and it is 1 off away. And 10.1.0.0, it has to send the packet through S0 once again, but it is 2 off away. Like this, each router has got at a particular time, each router has got an updated routing table. Now, because of inconsistency in the communications, or inconsistency in the because of some communication problem, there will be inconsistency in the routing table. So we can see that one here. So before proceeding to the inconsistency in the routing table, let's discuss about this matrix. Each routing protocol will use different matrix to determine the best route. For example, RIP, routing information protocol, makes use of op count, like to decide the best route. If the route with the less number of op count, it will treat as a best route. For IGRP, interior gateway routing protocol, makes use of bandwidth and delay. Like that, there are several parameters are there, metrics are there: bandwidth, delay, load, reliability, and MTU to decide the best route, best route. Each router makes use of different types of metrics. So in this diagram, you can see here, topology change causes the routing table update. Some topology changes cause the routing table update. As soon as topology changes occurs, that information will be received by this router. As soon as the router receives the information, it will process that update, and it will process that update, whatever it receives, and it will update the routing table. Then this router will send out this updated routing table after the next period expires to this router, and this router will process that update, and it will changes the particular routing table entry. It will do its routing table changes. So as soon as the topology change occurs, each router will receive the information. Based on that information, it will change the routing table, and it will pass the routing table to the other router. So this is the way distance routing protocol. This way distance routing protocol works. But this creates a problem. What is the problem it will create? You can see here. See, at a particular time, all the routers have got updated routing table entry. But imagine at a time, like particular route goes down, like 10.4.0.0 route goes down. Now because of routing update is received by B to C earlier than C to B. Now, because of the routing update received by B to C earlier than C to B, now C knows, routers C knows 10.4.0.0 is down, but it has received the update. Before passing this update to the router B, it has received the update from router B. Now in the router B entry, it is in the router B routing table entry, there is a routing table, there is an entry that 10.4.0.0 can be reached via S1 with 1 op away. Now this router C will think 10.4.0 is down, the route to the 10.4.0.0 is down, but because of this routing update, it will think like it can reach 10.4.0.0 via via S0. So this router will make the changes in the routing table, like to reach 10.4.0.0 via S0 with two ops, because this router C has received the update from B saying that 10 dot for B 10.4.0.0 is 1 op. Then this router will calculate for B it is 1 op, then distance between C to B is 1 op. So for this router it is 2 op. And now when the update turn comes for the router C, it will pass that information to, you can see here, it will pass that information to router B. So router B will modify that information in the routing table, and it will pass that information to router A. Similarly, once again the same information is moved to the router C. So now router C will update its routing table. Now this count to reach 10.4.0.0 reaches to infinite if you allow it to loop like that. If you allow it to loop like that. In fact, 10.4.0, there is no route to the 10.4.0. 10.4.0 is network is down. But because of inconsistency, this creates infinite loops that you can see here. Infinite loops. That is the main problem. That is called as a routing loops. In order to avoid the routing loops, you know, IP header makes use of one field that is called as time to leave. Time to leave is updated with the particular entry, and when the routing packet moves from one router to the other router, that entry will be decremented by 1 when it passes each router. So by using that this one count, TTL count, this routing loops can be eliminated. Otherwise, this routing loops causes the entire network to be down. So students, here you can see routing loop has occurred. In order to stop this routing loop, so there are two more techniques which is used by the distance vector protocol. That is, one is called as a split horizon. Split horizon says it is never useful to send the information about the route back in the direction from which the original information came. Like suppose C sends the information to B saying that 10.4.0.0 is down. If the same information B passes to C, then it is not useful information. The other way is called as a route poisoning. Router advertise the distance of routes that have gone down to infinity. That is called as a route poisoning. By these two techniques, distance vector tries to overcome the problem of infinite loops. Other than that, distance vector enabled router makes use of hold on timers. The main use of the hold on timers is whenever vertical route goes down and then back up, then back down. That means route oscillates so many times in a so many times. Then this router will send the update to the surrounding router. So if the router, based on this update, this router do the changes, then that will create a problem and that will create a loop. In order to avoid the infinite loop, router as soon as the update comes, each router will hold the update for a hold down time. That is, it has got a particular timer that is called hold down timer. It will start the hold down timer as soon as any update comes. When the hold down timer expires, it will wait for any other update till the hold down timer expires. Once the hold down timer expires, then it will take that route into consideration. That is called as hold down timer. So student, now we'll move to the next class of protocol, that is called the link state routing protocol. We have already seen distance vector routing protocol and what are the disadvantages of distance vector routing protocol. The disadvantage of distance vector routing protocol is each router will not have the clear topological view of the other routers. Each router will directly speak to the neighboring routers, and from the neighboring router it will try to get the information and it will pass the entire routing table updates to the other routers. So this is the one problem with the link state routing distance vector routing protocol. But in the link state routing protocol, each router will have clear topological information about the group of routers. So here in the diagram, each routers will speak to the other routers. Each router will exchange the packet called link state packet, and it will try to get the information about the other routers, type of link, cost of link, all those information, and from that it will create the topological database. From the topological database, it will run shortest path first algorithm, and it will calculate the routing table. So here the routing table is free from to certain extent is free from inconsistency or routing loops compared to distance vector routing table. So link state routing protocol adopts hierarchical routing architecture, that is a group of routers based on the common administrative rules are called as autonomous system. Autonomous systems are further divided into area. All the areas are connected to backbone area, and backbone area is connected to other autonomous systems. So other autonomous systems, here in the diagram you can see autonomous systems are divided into area. So area 1, area 2, area 3. In the area 1 we have something called the area border router. So in this diagram, this is the area border router. This area border routers will communicate with the backbone router. All the routers in this area 1 will communicate with the area border router. Area border router will communicate with backbone router. For example, router F want to communicate with G, then F will communicate with area border router. Area border router will communicate to backbone router. Backbone router will communicate to D, and D will communicate to G. So in this way communication takes place. So this is called hierarchical way of routing. So autonomous systems are connected to the other autonomous system by means of autonomous system border router. So this is the autonomous system border router. Here you can see this router, even though this is in backbone area, this router is treated as autonomous system border router. So this will connect to the other autonomous system router by means of autonomous system border router. So now, what are the advantages of link state routing? The advantage of link state routing is one thing you have to understand, student, here, like fast convergences. Changes are reported immediately by the source affected. So the convergence time is faster. Then robustness against routing loops. That is, here it is free from, not exactly free from routing loops, but it has got less routing loops. Because the name mainly, this is because router knows the topology, entire topology, and or I can say each router knows the topological information about the other routers. It will exchange link state packet, and all this by this packet it will come to know the topological information. From the topological information, it will calculate topological database. From the topological database, by using shortest path first algorithm, it will calculate the routing table. So like here the network design is robust. So this is these are the benefits of a link state routing protocol. Now, what are the disadvantage of the link state routing protocol? The disadvantage of the link state routing protocol is it consumes more memory, because link state routing protocol makes use of creates a topological database. In order to create topological database, it has to create three tables. First table is called as adjacency. It has to maintain the table related to adjacency of the router. Then from that it will create the topological database. From the topological database it will create the routing table. So it has to create the three tables here. So it has to maintain, to maintain the three table, enough memory is required. So it will, so maintaining the all these three tables, enough memory is required. And other than that, it also put overload on the CPU also, because CPU has to run link state algorithm, and link state algorithms can be intensive, so which requires more CPU attention. So and other problem here is with the link state routing protocol is related to partitioning, because we know in the link state routing protocols, autonomous systems are divided into different partitions. So this partitioning of areas will create problems. So these are the problems, important problems related to link state routing protocol.